Finer Details podcast. This is our biggest podcast of the year, the 2 years, 2026. I want to welcome my co-host Pete Pitts. He's been on 108 TV shows. He was on The Walking Dead. Welcome, Pete. And I want to introduce our guest. If you guys ever heard of the Travis Walton incident, okay, it happened in Snowflake, Arizona back in 1974, November 5th. He was abducted. They were loggers. They were coming back from a long day of logging. They seen a light in the woods. They went to the light. Travis got out of the car. He was beamed by the UFO, and six of his friends witnessed the incident. And we have one of them on the show today. I want to welcome Steve Pierce. Thank you, Steve, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, Steve, I just want you to know, since I've been a little boy, I remember watching Fire in the Sky, and I was addicted to this incident. I actually went in April to Snowflake, Arizona, and I found the phone booth that Travis was left at after the 5 days of missing. So thank you. This is like a childhood dream to me. Am I right, Pete?
Yes, he's right, Steve. It's an absolute honor. And you have no idea how much he talked about this case. I actually went and watched the movie Fire in the Sky just because Danny was talking it up so much. And I'd known about it for years, but I never saw it till last year. And Steve, we are so blown away that you decided to come on and share your story with us because, man, what a monumental experience that was. So thank you for being here again.
What a pain in the ass it was.
I figured it probably changed your whole life. So if we can, let's go back to that. Do you want to talk about the day of or the night before? Where do you want to start this?
Where do you want me to start?
Let's start the morning of. Do you want to start the morning of when you guys all get in the truck?
We'll start the weekend of Halloween.
Okay.
Perfect.
My cousin, my uncle, they're the ones that got me the job. They came over a couple of weeks before Halloween and told my mom that Mike needed some help, and I never met Mike and never met Travis and never met nobody on that crew. And so I went ahead and went to work for him, and then we drove out there in my cousin's pickup truck, and my cousin and my uncle, they had their daddy's chainsaws, so they had a chain. That's the reason they were out there, to cut wood. And so we get out there, and it was Friday, and they decided to go ahead and they were going to quit because they could make. Way I understood, I might be wrong, but way I understood, they quit because they could cut firewood and take it down to the valley, Mesa, Phoenix, and sell it. And it's true that we did. Me and my other uncle did that, and we got caught in a snowstorm. But anyway, so they're going to quit, and that plus Mike wasn't paying. I think that was the main reason they quit. But there was another guy. I don't know, some hippie dude. He didn't talk much, and he quit too. So that weekend, half the crew had quit
because Mike wasn't paying.
Yeah, and he was high. He was behind on the contract and everything.
Okay.
And when he lost two people with chainsaws, he was going to get really behind. Because everybody who worked there owned their own chainsaws. Travis owned his. Alan Dallas owned his. And so Monday morning comes, and I'm trying to talk my mom in not to let me go, and let me quit. And she says, "No, Mike will pay you. Mike will pay you." So I went over there and I walked over to Mike's house, and you walk behind his house because the front of his house was a main street. That house ain't even there no more. I was there, about 5 months ago, and that house isn't there no more. And they put a Walmart in Taylor. I couldn't use Walmart.
Wow.
Anyway, I walked over there, and that was the first day I met John Collette, Dwayne Peterson, the guy called Herman Munster, and Kenny Peterson. And it was the first time I ever saw Travis Walton. Not Travis Walton. I saw him a couple weeks before. But let's see, them three were new on the crew.
Okay.
I knew Alan Dallas because he was a pothead. I knew all the potheads. Everybody,
We're
all the
all
potheads,
potheads.
all the potheads knew each other. Especially in Snowflake. And um, shit, we had enough weed on us that night to light up Snowflake.
I believe it. I believe it, man.
That's awesome. It was a good night. You're saying it was a good night
but
that night.
but anyway, we went out to work, and Dwayne Smith had the same job I had. We would stack up the branch. There was no logs. We weren't loggers.
Oh, okay, because that's how they present you guys, right?
We weren't loggers. They would cut everything 5 inches around and smaller. It was for thinning out the forest for fire
Oh,
safety.
okay.
And
Okay.
then we would cut the branches down, or the smaller trees, whatever that was in the way, and leave the bigger ones. And then we would stack them in a certain way so that the forest rangers can come and have control fire. But
Oh, okay.
it had to be a certain way, or they wouldn't burn it.
All right.
And one day, I think it was Monday or the Tuesday, uh, Mike came unglued on me saying I wasn't stacking this right, and I tried to tell him it wasn't me; it was Herman Munster. But he didn't want to argue with Herman Munster because this dude was tall. He looked like Sean Anna. The
Yes.
guy with the big mouth on. That's who he looked like, the Sean Anna.
Okay.
Oh
All
But
right.
wow.
calling him that wouldn't have pissed him off.
He was a
But
big old.
anyway, he's the one that wasn't stacking right. But he was so tall that it took him a day and a half to reach a branch.
Right.
The time he bent over and picked something up. But anyway, me and him didn't get along. We started arguing and we started fighting all the time. And
Okay.
he couldn't catch me though. He was
Okay.
tall, but he couldn't run. And I learned a long time ago how to run. And hey, they used to try to cut our hair in Texas. When we moved to Texas after my dad died, we had long hair, and when we dressed like this, cowboy hat and everything, they used to try to chase me down. They even chased us down through a football field one time during a
Oh God.
game. During a game,
Oh my God.
just to cut our hair. But anyway, um, the week went by. We went home. Then Tuesday came, the same thing, and then Wednesday we go out there and
So this is the day of the incident, November 5th,
yeah.
Wednesday. Okay.
You ready?
Where were you sitting in the truck? So you were on your way out there. You guys talking about anything on the way out there? Just being dudes.
No, I got stoned before I got in the truck, so I didn't
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Right.
That was good. Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. You're outside. Why not?
I didn't talk to these people. Plus, I had a stuttering problem. I couldn't talk until I was like 9 years old.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
well,
wow.
I flunked first grade. I never told people, but I flunked first grade because I couldn't talk.
Oh
And
my gosh.
my parents, I say it once, they don't say this word no more. My parents thought I was retarded.
Right.
I used to have to point to get what I want, because I couldn't talk.
Right. You can
But
talk
anyway,
now. I've been
when I was
talking to you all week. And you got great stories, Steve.
Yeah, I'd never
well,
know. Talk,
but
Steve.
when I was 17, if I got nervous, I would start,
Stuttering.
stuttering.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's the reason. Yeah.
so Steve,
But
what age were you around this time? You were in your 20s, right?
No,
no,
I'm 17.
I was
Oh, you're
17. Everybody else were in their 20s. I'm the kid in the movie. You know who Henry Thomas is?
yes.
The boy who played E.T.
Yep.
He played my part of the movie. His name was Greg Hayes or something like that, and uh, he played my part in the movie.
Wow. What an honor.
Steve was in
What's
the
that?
front seat of the
You're
truck,
getting,
right?
getting
You were in the front seat.
what's the honor? Wait a second. What's the honor? Him playing me, or
I
me getting screwed out of all this money that everybody else made?
oh, that's not
He,
cool. No. Now,
that's not cool. And
yeah.
tell him how you found out about Fire in the Sky. Pete doesn't know that. Tell him how you found out.
Um, I was getting diesel fuel one night at a truck stop in Barstow, California. There's a Flying J there, and I just got loaded, and I was headed to New Orleans, and it was early in the morning, 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, and because I always had to wait until after midnight to get fuel because I could lie on my logbooks. Well, anyway, um, I went and paid for the fuel, and went to the restroom. And on the way out, they have TV rooms in truck stops. I don't know if you've ever been in truck stop, but they have
Yeah.
TV rooms. And I walked through the TV room and see if anybody was going to drive for the rest of the night. And there was Travis Walton on HBO or some whatever channel they were watching, talking about Fire in the Sky, and that's how they made a movie.
Could you imagine that, Pete? Like, you're part of this incident, and they never told him about the movie.
Oh, so yeah, I can't imagine that. And I've worked in movies for about a
I
decade,
think
Steve.
I think Todd Black, he's the only one that's alive now. I looked it up. Everybody that's involved in making the movie has passed away, except for
Oh,
the movie
wow.
star. I'm talking about the producer, the
Mhm.
two
Yeah.
producers, the director. You know, they've all passed away, and I think
Wow.
Todd Black is the only one that's left.
Oh man.
Okay.
I
Oh,
gotta say,
wow.
I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked they didn't reach out to you. I mean, they should have cleared that with you. You should be getting royalty checks to this day, in my opinion.
Well, Travis said I caught him in a lie too. I caught Travis in so many lies; it's ridiculous. Um, when I first came out of the closet, John Collette used to hate that when I say come out of the closet.
He's talking about this incident, correct?
There, there's a reason I say come out of the closet. I
Okay.
had a I had a brother that was gay, and he died of AIDS in the early 2000s. That's a
Oh
horrible
my
way to
gosh, I'm
die.
sorry. I'm sorry about
That's a
that.
horrible way to die. But in the 70s, it took balls to be gay.
Oh God, yes.
I bet. I,
I agree. And 70s and 80s, think about this. We didn't even when I grew up, I didn't know any gay people in my high school, but I'm sure there were. They were just afraid to come out. I'm sure of it back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean
Well,
that's the way it was.
they treated them different, but back then the gay guys were different. They had it took balls to be gay in the 70s. That's
Yeah, I
that's that's
agree.
true.
I
But
imagine.
anyway, that's the reason
Go
I
ahead.
say that.
Okay. So Steve, if we get back to the incident, so you get there. Now in the movie, they say that Dallas and Travis had a fight. Is that true or no?
Which time?
So they didn't
You
like
talking
each
about
other.
the tree incident,
Yeah,
or
where he
the
like
actual? You want to hear
I
about
think
the real? You want to hear about the real fight?
yeah, go ahead, let's hear
Okay. Uh, I'm walking over there, right, and I come to the back where the pickups at, where everybody meets in the backyard, and they're there's Travis and Alan. They're having words, and it's over a woman,
it.
and
Right.
and they weren't getting them, but I sure was. But anyway, um, um, uh, so Alan Dallas thinks he knows kung fu, right? And
Okay.
so he tries to do a roundhouse on Travis. Alan
Okay.
falls on his ass, man. He just lands on his ass, and Travis is just standing there and not moving, and I'm sitting there laughing my ass off, and that's their big fight.
Okay. Because they made that sound like that was the reason you killed him, or Dallas may have been the suspect. That's what the movie was pointing at, right?
Well, if you're talking about the tree, that tree episode actually happened, but it was an accident. It
Oh,
wasn't.
okay.
It wasn't on purpose.
Okay. Oh, that's when the tree fell and almost hit him, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. All right. So you guys, so it's the end of the day, right? And you guys just start packing up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Was it starting to get dark already?
I'm backing up.
Okay.
You're going too fast, Jerry.
All right.
Okay. At lunchtime, um, Alan's always making, always teasing me, calling me pretty boy and everything. And he was really jealous because the woman I married, Denise, I was going out with her, and he was really jealous over it. And there was quite a few guys jealous over it. But he was messing with me, and then I looked at him. I said, "Yeah, I slept with Dana Rogers at the football field too." And Travis gets all mad and goes out to the truck, and that's when he spends the whole day at the truck, right? And
Okay.
then uh, Alan Dallas told me because Mike Rogers and John Gillette is walking towards us, and that's when Alan uh, uh, told me that's Mike's sister. So you don't say anything. So we didn't say anything else about it, you know.
Okay.
And that's the day that Travis was zapped. That's the day I knew that Mike Rogers and Dana Rogers were brothers and sisters. I didn't know that before.
Okay.
I had no
And
clue.
she was dating Travis at the time then, or what?
I would say no.
Okay, they weren't dating at that time.
I would say no, but he says
Okay.
yes.
Oh,
It depends.
okay.
It depends who you want to believe.
Right. Okay, I get it. I get it.
So they were
So
talking, but were
that
they dating?
happened that day though, right?
Yeah, yeah, that happened that
Okay.
day. And now, listen. Travis is in the truck all day, right?
Okay.
Okay. Monday, Tuesday, uh, Mike Rogers took off in the evening and came back.
Okay.
He did the same thing on Wednesday. Okay,
Okay.
and he didn't do this before. And because I know, because when he's not around, I had a sneak attack. I would take a hit, and and hey, that's a boring ass job picking up. It's just like doing yard work. That's all you're
Right, I
doing
get
is
you.
yard work, but the trees are just a little bit bigger, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need no brains for that.
No, not at
And
all.
so that night, we're all packing. Mike says he comes back and he says, "We're going to stay a little bit longer," you know. So
Okay.
we got done. By the time it was getting dark, we couldn't see no more, you know.
Okay.
And when we saw the craft, whatever you want to call it, it was dark.
Okay. So, like, you start out and you are, how far was till you seen the craft? Was it far from where you were working?
Um, I would say it was close enough they could hear the chainsaws.
Oh, wow. So the craft was pretty, I mean, you just didn't travel far until you seen it then at all.
No, we didn't go very far.
Okay. So you are driving. Who notices the light first? Did you all see it or what happened? How you want to describe it to us or?
Um, I'm not sure who saw it first. I know it wasn't Travis because he's always sleeping.
Okay.
I think it was Kenny Peterson who saw it
Okay.
first, and then
And what did he say? There's a light? Is that what he said?
yeah,
What's that light?
it looked like um it was a bright light. They say it looked like a fire. It didn't look like a fire. It was white. It
Okay.
was solid white.
Okay. Was it a ball light? Could you see a ball or just white light in the air?
At first, you could just see a bright white light until you got up
O-
close to it.
Okay.
Then
When you got close to it, what did you see? I can't even imagine this. I can't even imagine I'm asking this question, but what did you see? It had to be shocking.
I don't know. I was stoned.
What did it look like to you, though?
We were all stoned. Mike used to threaten to fire me all the time. if I got caught again smoking weed. But that day he let us all get stoned for some reason. I guess the show he enjoyed the light show. The light show was pretty good, stoned.
I bet. I bet. So, what did the craft look like itself, though?
Um, like two cake pans on top of each other, you know.
Okay.
Um,
Wow. Cake pan. So, it
Wow.
wasn't like a triangular like a lot of people say they see, right?
was it like the tower?
No, like a triangle. It was more like a round circle. Is that what you're saying?
um, not a circle, but you know,
Okay.
like two V's together with a line in the middle, you know.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
well, okay. And how big was it, Steve? I think you said 30 to 40 feet when we talked, somewhere around there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow. And how far was it off the ground? Like, was it far?
It was right above the tree lines.
Oh my God. I, I couldn't even imagine seeing that, Pete. I'd be scared shitless.
It's,
I'd be scared shitless.
I got to know, Steve. What was your first thought? What was the very first thought? Do you remember when you first realized that you're looking at something in the sky? What did you think?
The world was coming to an end.
I bet,
I,
man.
I
Pre-
bet. Oh my God. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. So what did so Travis decides to what made him get out of his car?
It says he jumps out, but he didn't jump out. He got out, and he says he goes straight up to it, but that's a lie. He goes to the right of it, you know, just like the
Okay.
picture. You know how that picture that Mike has, you see his truck, and then he's on the right, and
Yeah.
that's that's how it actually happened.
Okay.
And um, so he probably might have been a little bit closer to it than us, but not much because he walked in an angle. He didn't walk straight up to it.
Okay. And then what did the craft do? Was there lights on the craft or anything? Or what was it like?
There was like a bluish green light came out and zapped him. And he falls back. In the movie, it shows that he did all this other stuff, and that's not true. He just fell back.
Okay. So it hit him. You actually seen like a fucking beam of light hit this man.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Oh my God. It's crazy. But Steve, everything that's going on in this world, I believe you 1010%. This is insane. I totally, it's crazy that you've
What
seen.
exactly do you believe?
I don't know what I believe. To be honest with you, I don't, but I believe
I don't
something's
believe
going.
Travis was with aliens. If that's what you mean.
I know you don't. And I know that's why we're going to get into this. You think this might have been the government, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what I always believed.
That
Interesting.
maybe they redid the craft.
Roswell too. Either that, National Enquirer, because National Enquirer knows a lot more about this shit in there, you know, back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, let's bring that up. One thing that they did say was that you guys had a National Enquirer magazine in the truck. And I guess the investigators saw it and they believed you drummed this story up because you guys were reading the National Enquirer.
You want the truth?
Yeah, of course.
I've never said this before, but I'll go ahead and say it. I couldn't tell you what was on those papers. I couldn't read until I was my third marriage.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so when I was going to school, I couldn't read. I couldn't read at all. So when I was 17 years old, when going back and forth, they had newspapers in there, but I couldn't tell you what there was on them. I couldn't read. My third wife taught me how to read.
Wow. Wow.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. So definitely you did not hear anything about this magazine, right?
No, no.
Okay. That's something they just brought up. So after Travis is hit, boom, he's hit. Do you guys leave immediately or what happens after he's hit with the beam?
I said they got him, and then you know I believed Kenny was trying to get out. I've never asked him this, but because the door was open, Travis's door was still open, you know. And when Kenny scooted over, you know, and Alan Dallas was on the right of me, but he was trying to get on the floorboard, try,
Okay.
trying to dig his way through the floorboard. So I scooted over, and so me and um, the Mormon, we scooted over, and I could see everything then. And Mike, there's no way Mike could have seen Travis Land or Dwayne Smith because they was plywood all the way around the back side of this truck, 4 feet high as the
Understood.
cat. So you couldn't
Mhm.
see nothing back there. And if it was sideways, they couldn't see out the back window because it was blocked. And so I seen him hit the ground, and I said they got him. And then we took off, and we get down a little ways, and um, um, we get out, and I'm not saying nothing. Everybody says I'm scared because I'm not saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing because I was scared, but this is when things didn't add up. But anyway, um, Mike falls to the ground and plays this little. I don't know if it was an act or what it was, but he threw a fit on the ground, and um, Alan didn't want to go back, you know, and I didn't really want to go back, and we wanted to go get some guns and then go get back, but um, Kenny Peterson, Keita Peterson,
Okay.
and John Gillette, it was their ideal to go back and look for him, and I didn't care one way or the other. I never liked him in the first place. But anyway, we all went back. In the movie it says that Mike went back by himself. That's bullshit. They
Okay.
would have been a murder that night. His, you know,
Right.
because I wouldn't leave that pickup until I seen a town. You
Right.
Mm.
know.
I don't blame I agree with
I'm paying for that pickup until I see the lights.
you. I don't blame you, brother.
So,
I'd have been the same way. I'd have been hanging on to that pickup truck.
Ab- You couldn't get me out of there.
well,
So,
anyway,
so you just go
um,
back, right?
yeah, we go back, and uh, this is where start doesn't add up. Okay,
Okay.
when we take off, we're going this way, and everything's to the right, right?
Okay.
So we turned around, everything would be that way. Everything should be on the left, right?
Yeah.
Well, when we got out of the truck, Mike took us to the right.
Uh-huh.
So to me, that never made any sense. But anyway,
Right.
we're all lined up, right? And um, uh, Herman Monster, he's behind me, right? Because I made sure I was in the middle. If anything happened, I was in the middle.
I don't blame you.
I had people behind me, and I had people in front of me, right? So
Okay.
Dwayne, he's behind me, and we go underneath this pine tree, and I pulled out the branch and slapped it into his face, and
Uh,
we start arguing again. Mike
okay.
tells Mike tells us to knock it off. But anyway, we couldn't find him, and we went back. Uh, we went into town, and there was a phone booth. They got a store there now. Um, this telephone place has two phone booths outside of it, right? And it's still
Uh,
there. And we stopped there and and called the cops. And now there's a store right next to it. When I was there a couple months ago, but the cops said to us to move into town, go farther into town where the gas station was, and the gas station burnt down, and I think it's not even there no more. But we sat there and we waited for him until the cops got there,
were
and
you all? Did you all want to call the cops, or were there some people saying the cops are never? I would think the cops wouldn't believe you. I'd be scared to call them, but I would still call them. But I'd be
I wouldn't
scared.
I wouldn't call a cop on nobody.
So you were against calling the cops. You didn't think they'd
Yeah,
believe you, right?
yeah, yeah. I
You
wouldn't
were
So
call a
did
cop
you?
on my worst enemy. Do what?
Did you? Did you know the cop? Did you guys know him?
No, no, but they knew us.
Okay.
Um,
Oh,
The cops that I had problems with were the city cops. Now, the cop that came out there, One was, I think, was a city cop of that town, but the two other cops were sheriffs, county sheriffs. One was the county sheriff, and the other one was his buddy, deputy. What
Okay.
you know, and Gillespie, he showed up last. He was the sheriff, and he asked us a bunch of questions, and he said that Mike has to go back because he's the crew boss, and he wanted two other guys to go back with him. And so not Dwayne, but Alan Dallas and the Mormon went back, and um, years later, me and Alan Dallas, we were in the county jail together, and we talked about this, and he told me that the reason he went back, not to look for Travis, but to face his fears of what he did on the floorboard. So he
Right.
didn't like that. He didn't like Travis at all. He went back to face his fears. But anyway, they went back and they, uh, I guess they couldn't find him. But me, John Goulet, and Dwayne Smith went back to Snowflake, right? And um, I got the back seat for once by myself. But anyway, um, we get to Snowflake and we pull into the back, and all the lights are out at Mike's house, and I guess all the girls were asleep because that's why all was in there was nothing but girls. Mike Rogers' wife, that's John Goulet's sister, and Mike's sister, and they had a bunch of kids, a bunch of girls, and but anyway, they get out, and I have my own problem. I got to go home and tell my mom what happened, and so they went in there, and I walked home, and when I got home, I told my mom what happened, and she was like, wow, I don't know if she believed me or not, but reality didn't hit until the next morning. But anyway, um, I went outside to smoke a joint, and this car comes by, and um, I I put out the joint, and he stops, and he starts walking up there, and I asked him what he needed, and he said, "Are you the guy that just walked from Mike Rogers' house?" And I said, "Yeah." And uh, uh, so he was asking me questions, and to this day, I can't figure out how he knew before we got back to Snowflake. There's a
Hey,
few other things that are weird too that doesn't
but
make
you
any
said
sense.
he was from the National Enquirer, that guy, right? He already
He said he
knew.
was. He said he was, but I don't know. People say a
Right.
lot of things back then. I couldn't tell who they were. They didn't have the
Yeah,
internet back then.
right. How would they even know? You're right.
Yeah.
And no cell phones, no nothing. Yeah, it
The
was totally different
first time
back
I
then.
saw Men in Black, I was like, "Wow, man, who are these people?" uh, uh,
Wow, that's wild. So
Oh
this guy,
yeah, he'll tell you about the Men in Black. He's seen Men in Black too. They actually followed him. But anyway, so when did the police say they wanted you to take a lie detector test?
um, let's see. This happened on a Wednesday. On Thursday morning, the next morning, um, the cops are at the door talking to my mom, and um, they think we killed Travis. They were going to get a posse out there and go look for him. And so um, I grabbed my cowboy boots and I snuck out the back door because I thought Travis was dead. At this time I thought he was dead. So I figured they were going to find a body. And how are you going to run
Right,
from 100? How are you going to run from 100 cops? So
right.
so I didn't go. So
I don't
um,
blame you.
um, me and cops don't get along. But all you gotta do is obey the law, and they don't mess with you no more.
That's true.
You know, you know, you hear these people that the cops give me a hard time because they pulled me over. All you have to do is put your hands on your steering wheel, keep your hands on your steering wheel, let the cop do his thing, give him asset, and just answer the questions he wants. Don't be running your mouth, you know.
that's
And
it.
and odds are you're going to drive away.
Yes, agree. Agree.
I always put my hands on the steering wheel. Don't shoot, man. My hands are up here.
That's smart. That's a smart
That
move.
that should be a law that you have to put your hands on the steering wheel when an officer pulls you over. I would
That's
go
a
for
good
that.
idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And it keeps everybody safe.
Yeah,
Keeps you safe and the cops safe.
because
I agree.
you don't know what the kind of mood that cop's going to be in that day and pulls you over.
We don't take things to work, cops. We're not supposed to, but cops do. You know, they do. It's natural.
Regular cops, I don't mind. I don't like DOT cops.
You what? What'd you say?
Regular cops, a city cop, a city kitty.
Yeah.
You were a city kitty, weren't you?
I was a city and then I went to the state. I worked for the city for a while, then I went to the state.
So you actually became a full grown bear.
Yes, I was a city cop for a while, then I switched to the
Okay,
state.
a city cop is a city kitty, right?
Okay.
Okay, a highway patrol is a full grown bear. So we
There
have
you
a highway
go.
patrol,
No, I wasn't highway patrol. I was a
and
detective.
the sheriffs are county mounties.
You know what they called detectives? They called us house cats that we couldn't survive out of the office. That's what they called us, house cats.
That's
So,
awesome.
But I
so
learned if you show them respect first, because it's the attitude you have when they pull you
right.
over.
Yes. Yes. Agree. Now, Steve, so they knocked at your door and they want you to take that lie detector test right then and there, or they gave you time? What'd they say?
No, it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was Friday. There was a cop. His name was Flake. Um, uh, he hassled me, and I'm walking from my house to Circle K, right?
Okay.
And he passes me going one direction, then he turns back around, so his face is facing my, his door's in my face, right?
Right.
So he rolls down his window and he tells me, he says, we know you guys are guilty. You just can confess, get it over with, because you guys are going to have to take a polygraph test. And that was the first time I heard about the polygraph test from a cop. And he says, you might as well just tell me the truth. Just tell me, you know. And I said, well, I'm telling you the truth. Well, he says, in Arizona, I don't know if he's telling the truth now, but I think maybe he's just trying to scare me. But he said, in Arizona, we don't need a body to convict somebody for murder. And since you were with this person, because we don't believe you actually did the killing, you just know who did the killing, that that you can get charged with first degree murder also. You know, so and he hassled me for 3 or 4 days. That place was packed from like the uh, second, third, fourth, like for 4 days. There was more people in Snowflake than it was packed. And then
Because it hit national news right away, right? It went national right away. Am I
yeah,
correct?
but how did a small town guy get lost in the woods go cross country so quick
Right.
over
I
there?
know.
How did that happen?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
it did. That's a good
Yeah,
question.
National Enquirer, I imagine.
Right. And was there a lot of press there the next day and stuff like that? So there was press and all that stuff, news.
Yeah, there's all kinds. There was people trying to get in my house at nighttime, take my picture through the window and stuff.
Oh my God.
The
Oh
paparazzi.
my. Oh my God. Yes.
I mean, we couldn't walk down the street without people, taking our picture or hollering at us or saying something.
Most people didn't believe you. I'm assuming. Am I right, Steve?
The whole town didn't believe us. Everybody thought we killed him.
Yeah. So when did you finally decide? Did you all meet and say, yeah, we'll take this lie detector test, or what'd you do?
I had nothing to do with it. I was a minor. My mom
Okay.
was curious if we killed him or not. But
Okay.
they never hardly, except for the city cops, Gillespie never talked to me. He talked to my mom.
Okay.
My mom was, talking to him every day, and the city cops hassled me, but he didn't. He was too busy with the big fish,
Yeah. So the day of, what did he take you first? Am I correct? You're the first one to go in for the lie detector test. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
in Travis's book, it says that we drew straws, and I've been telling Travis for years that that didn't happen that way. And then when Paranormal Witness came out, and the guy that took the polygraph test, he told what really happened. They came after me because I wasn't saying nothing, you know. Um, that the book is the first 5 days of Travis's book is so totally not true. It's all made up by Mike.
Okay.
And I'd say part of the book, uh, when when Mike is talking about the radiation, you know, about the hard hats, well, Gillespie had his Geiger counter. How do you say it? A
I
Geiger
think that's
counter.
how you say it. Yeah. That's right. There's radiation on the helmets. That's right. I forgot about that, right?
Okay. Well, Gillespie had his out there too, looking for radiation, and Gillespie couldn't find anything, couldn't find nothing. And
Okay.
and Travis, I mean, Mike comes up with a story that there was someone this hard hat. Two guys came out of the jungle, and you know, and they said, "Oh yeah," and then they disappeared back in the woods, and they never seen them again.
Right.
Um, if this really happened, how come Mike didn't go to Gillespie? Because Gillespie was the head of the posse. Why come he didn't go to him? Because Gillespie couldn't find nothing. And another thing, why was it just on these hard hats? And we didn't even wear hard hats. Um,
Right.
that picture you see us with the hard hat on, all of us
Yeah.
wearing a hard hat. That's the same hard hat. We just took turns of. Here, it's your turn. Give me a picture.
Oh, so you said one hard hat.
That's
So now I'm going to be honest with you. For being a cop, I know why he took you. He thought you were young. He thought you were quiet, so you were the nervous one, and he thought if he interviews you first and you confess, he won't have to interview the other four or the other five. That honestly, that's why.
That's why he even admits. He even says that on Paranormal Witness. He came after
Right.
me on purpose because I wasn't saying nothing. Hell yeah, I wouldn't say nothing. They thought we killed a dude. My dad taught me to be quiet. You're in trouble with the cops. Just keep your mouth shut.
So they take you in for the lie detector test. And I know you told me this, but you said you were more nervous about this than seeing the UFO, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the last 3 or 4 days, Alan Dallas's mom was been saying that they're gonna set this up, and they're gonna make us all look guilty. You know, and so I figured we wasn't going to get out of there, and they they um they took me first, and they asked me these questions, and then they led me out back where the prisoners went to take a break outside,
Okay.
and but
Yeah.
it's all fenced in. You're not going anywhere. So I was out there by myself for about 2 hours, and then the next 2 hours somebody else came out, and then 2 hours later somebody else came out, and so on.
Do you remember the questions they asked you?
Yeah.
Any of them? Okay. They basically probably asked you if you killed them, right?
They asked if we did any bodily harm. Um, the polygraph tests are out there. Look them up. The ones you see that are out there,
Uh huh.
the my mom got those. Travis puts it on they're his, but my mom is the one that got them. And those four questions. This is what the four questions they asked us, and those are real classified. They've never been messed with. I told one guy that that I messed with the paperwork. But I just told him that so he could argue with another guy.
Okay.
I told them both different stories so they could argue with each other. It was kind of fun. but but the paperwork that are out there, is actually from my mom. She went down there a few days after that. She wanted it in paper, that we didn't kill Travis and all this. And
That's a
she had,
good mom.
yeah, and um, she had it for years. And then my relatives got a hold of it, and I got a hold of it right before, like, in 2011 was the first time. Um, Travis never seen it until the first time I did a conference was in Maine. A good friend of mine named David Sinnett, who passed away. Um, that's when Travis first saw it. That's the first time I ever brought it out. But then once it goes on the internet or Facebook, anybody can have it, I guess, So
Yeah. So when did they tell you guys you passed it?
after Mike was done, after Mike
What
was
did the
done,
cops what did the cops think after you passed it? Like the cops are probably like, oh my God, these guys are telling the truth. This really happened, you know?
I, the sheriff was kind of surprised, like he couldn't believe it that we passed it.
Wow, that's crazy. So you know what? The one thing I really don't know about, and we got about 15 minutes left. How does he come back? What happens? When did you find out he came back? How did that all happen?
I don't know. That's something you're going to have to ask him.
Really? I mean, you don't know anything about that at all.
I don't talk about his. Why would I want to talk about his experience?
Oh, I don't mean in the UFO. I meant, how did you hear about he came back?
Oh, um, uh, I was at a girlfriend's house and hiding out, and I came home that night, and my mom said he was in a hospital in Tucson, but actually he was in um at his brother's house in Phoenix, I guess. He wasn't in Tucson like they thought he was.
Okay. So I guess the movie shows that he went to this telephone booth. He saw the spacecraft leave. He called you guys, but you don't know if that
He
happened,
didn't call
right?
me. I can't tell you if that was true or not. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I went to the telephone booth just to see it. You know, it's the
I've
famous
been to the
telephone
telephone
booth.
booth too.
Have you? And it's still there. I mean, it's still there. I've seen it.
Yeah, there's a couple aliens, ain't they?
Yes, yes, they have that there too. And actually, AI got me there. I Googled it on artificial intelligence and it told me where it was. That's how I got there. So it was good. But we want you to take us to the scene someday, Steve. And we'll buy dinner, we'll buy everything. We want to go to the scene. We definitely want to go to the scene. So
Yeah.
let me ask
So,
you something.
you believe in all that? You believe this story?
I believe all of this. I believe in Roswell, and you don't believe in Roswell.
Mm. I believe
He thinks,
Roswell had something to do with paperclip Operation Paperclip, because in 1945 that we had all them Germans over here and in Alabama and New Mexico and then in 47 they had the crash. I mean, come on. And they weren't hiding the fact they were hiding aliens. They were hiding the fact they had Germans on American soil, and not just any Germans. They had Nazi Germans over here. So
Mhm.
if there's any aliens, it's the Germans. I mean, they're the ones that got us uh, into space.
right.
You know,
Oh,
Hitler was working on a craft that people in ufology would call a UFO. So, you know, to me, it, Roswell has something to do with Operation Paperclip.
you know what? We didn't ask you about the Men in Black. When was the first time you seen them? Because you did have things with them, right? You did have the incidents with them.
Um, yeah, I met this dude one night, and when he was coming in, uh, two guys following him in. I've had some strange experiences with people.
I believe it.
Hey, I was doing this show, and um, they were filming me, and the guy would leave, and when he left, another guy would come in and talk to me, but he would leave, and the other guy would come back, and the other guy didn't know who the other guy was, so I don't know if I was talking to myself or what.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-mm.
So did these people look like the men in black with black suits and everything, or it was just two guys?
Um, yeah, they. The first time I saw them was in the winter. It was like 77, and they looked like um um guys with a black suit on, with a black tie, with a white shirt and everything, and the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
They look like the Blues
Wow.
Brothers. Well,
That's
one wasn't fat and
crazy.
skinny though, but you know what I mean. That's the way they were
Yeah,
dressed.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let me ask you something. Do you believe all of this? Or do you believe that it's definitely the government, or do you believe there is aliens?
I believe it has something to do with the government.
Okay. What about Area 51?
Um, every time I get close to that, they there's no way you could get close to that without getting caught. You can't even get on the dirt road without them being signaled. And once you get to one part, they come over a hill and sit there and watch you. So no, it Skinwalker Ranch was a lot easier to get into that place. And that
Could
place,
you tell us a little bit about that, Skinwalker Ranch? Because people know that from the TV show.
I was there when um, Robert Bigelow owned it. Back in the
Okay.
day. And I started hanging out there in 2012. And the last time I was there was in 2017, 2016. So I was there all the time, and
Right.
I got chased off twice. Um, I got chased all the way to Roosevelt. It's like 20 miles away from there for being on the property. Um,
What
I
do you
don't
think's
believe
going on there, Steve? What do you think? What's there? What do you think? Do you think
nothing.
something's going on there?
Nothing.
Okay. You don't believe anything's going on there.
Not anymore. It
You
might
think
have
it
been
was
in the past.
when
Well,
Bigelow owned it?
this, yeah, you got this. Do you know what Skinwalker, why they call it, what happened there, right?
No, I really don't know much about it.
The place is evil. It's not, has anything to do with UFOs. The way I understand it, that the youths used to kidnap uh, uh, the Navajos, and they would bring them up there, and the Navajos are the ones who are the skinwalker, that's in there, and they curse this place, you know, and there's the Indians there that won't go there because the place is cursed. This place is evil. It has nothing to do with UFOs, and there ain't no what do you call it, portal. There's no portal there. I've looked.
Okay.
I've been all over that property, and there is a place that makes your hair pop up, you know. But I ain't gonna tell you where. It'll be in the book. But
Okay.
um, that place is just evil.
And I don't know if you know this, Pete,
And
but
besides, well, listen,
big.
listen.
Go ahead.
Now, if there was something actually there that was happening, don't you think President Trump would be on that? Like, come on.
I I think Trump would tell us. I do. I kind of agree with you. I think Trump's the kind of guy, man. He's an open fucking book. You know what I mean? He's going to tell you. But let me ask you something. What I was trying to tell Pete was Bigelow bought that property. He's from Vegas because he knew something was going on there, right? He wanted to
Yeah,
investigate it. That's why he bought the property. Am I right?
yeah, yeah. I believe there was something going on before because they had cages. They had set a calf inside this thing and wait for the beast to come out, and then they put a oil field right in the middle where I could take pictures. You know what an oil rig is, right? And
Yeah.
you couldn't see down there. You had to go to a different spot because at one time I had this whole place all mapped out, everything, this whole place. I knew how to get in, get out, the back way, the sideways. That is a road that goes through there, and but no, there's no portal, and I've been looking for a portal for a long time. Ever since
Okay.
I've drove truck my whole adult life. I've been to Canada. I've been to Alaska. I've been to Mexico, down to Mexico City. I've been in every state except Hawaii, and there's not a bridge that goes there. I probably went there, and I've been to hundreds of graveyards. I've been looking for answers my whole life,
Man,
and I
if
would
you
say
have any,
more.
let us know.
Huh?
I said, let us know. Me and Pete are interested in this too. We're interested, definitely.
Oh,
Without it.
I can tell you some scary stuff about places I've been. To me, this is more. Uh, I don't know, spiritual. You want to say? How do
What do
you?
I always say that too? I always tell Pete that I think it's spiritual too. I do. I really do. I think this is what these people are seeing. These orbs. I think it's all spiritual. I don't think it's a craft. I think it's something spiritual in the sky.
Yeah,
You
that's what
know?
I believe. But
Yeah.
but people are going to call you a liar, or they call you
Right.
names, and or they're going to watch this and say, "Oh, he waited a minute too long to answer that question, so he's lying." You know,
Right.
the way he's looking. You know, At least I look at the camera. You ever notice? You ever notice Travis never looks? He looks down every time he's talking to somebody.
I
That's
did notice that, but I did notice. Didn't he flunk a lie detector test once though?
I've
I
only
thought it was
known
like
one.
on a.
He
I
says,
thought it was like on a TV show or something. I kind of
yeah.
remember
Well,
something.
he says he's taken more, but he's never been able to show me the proof. I've
Okay.
asked him a couple
Okay.
times, I know the one that he flunked on TV, but I don't believe that anyway. I believe it was set up because I believe he lied on one of the other questions. So I know there
Okay.
was.
Okay. I know what you mean. Yeah. I forget what that show was. That was back in the early 2000s. I'm thinking
Well,
that was a long.
I didn't see that until a couple years ago. Most of
Yeah,
the
I
stuff
remember that.
I never saw. I never saw. They made a movie. I knew about the movie in '93 when I saw it at the truck stop, but I still didn't see it until 2011, 2012.
wow.
Hmm.
So I got a question, Steve. How did you feel when you saw Travis zapped? What did you feel as you were a young man and you didn't know what to make sense of it? What did you really think happened to him in those following days? I'm just curious.
I think he thought he was dead.
That's what I would.
Right?
I,
I wish they would have turned the electricity up a little bit more and zapped and fried him a little bit more.
maybe he deserved
Listen,
it.
when
That's
he
awesome.
got zapped, did he fly through the air or just fell back? Just fell
He just
back
fell back. He just fell back.
because in
He tripped over.
paranormal wit,
He The light was so bright that he tripped over a branch.
who knows, right? But in paranormal witness, a lot of guys thought he was disintegrated, right? But you said you saw him hit the
Um,
ground.
yeah, I think it was Dwayne Smith thought he was disintegrated, but I said I saw him hit the ground. So because I did see him hit the ground.
And Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to tell our audience if you want to see the most accurate, would be Paranormal Witness, right? I think it's season 2, episode 9, right? That's
Yeah,
more accurate than the
yeah.
movie.
There's another one, the one that Jennifer Stein. I don't like the woman personally because she lied to me, but she actually did a pretty good job on hers.
Okay. I think, did you just send that to me? You may
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
Yeah, you just send
yeah.
that to me. Oh, one last question. We got 2 minutes left, but I want to ask you this. You were offered $10,000 to say this was fake back in the 70s, where $10,000 was like $100,000 back then. How did you not take this? And I'm sure you needed it. We all need it.
Um, when he was bothering me and calling me up, and I get called a liar about this all the time.
Right.
Um, a guy named Jim Click. He was a police officer for Taylor, Arizona. And
Okay.
Travis even checked this story out, so he even Travis say this is true. Um, I I got I got married right at and that following February. There's a Catholic church right there in between Taylor and Snowflake, and I got married there. I married her sister a couple years later. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about an exorcist?
How
I
many
tell you.
times were you married, Steve?
You're the ladies man. Oh, we got a ladies
Well,
man.
well,
Yeah,
anyway,
he's a ladies' man for sure.
um, well, anyway, we're living in a trailer in Taylor, and you could see from both directions. It's a dirt road. We're the only trailer on there. You know, there's some people in the back, but it's on a different road. And here comes a cop. You know, and uh, the wife at the time says, "Here comes the cops. What'd you do this time?" She thought I was in trouble again. You know, he comes
Right,
to the door, and it was Jim Click, and he told me that Philip Glass said he'd give you $10,000 if you said this was a hoax. Well, I didn't know who Philip Glass was. You
right.
know, I never saw a picture of him until 2012. Travis sent me a picture of him. When me and Travis first got together after all them years, and we were talking about Philip Glass, and back then it took, they they say that, uh, uh, they can remember the day Elvis died, right? That's
Right.
not true. They might remember the day after because the news didn't say anything till the day after. And see, that's what another thing that gets me is that the whole world knew about this within hours after this happened in a small town. So
in in the
how did it
70s.
get out there so fast?
That's crazy. Oh my God, it really is. So, did you think about taking the money? I mean, I gotta be honest. I think about taking it. 10 grand?
Um, yeah, because I was mad at them. I wanted to piss in the Reedies,
Right.
and uh, I was going to take it at first, but um, I never took it.
Wow. You're a good man,
And
Steve.
and and, and you talked about that picture about National Enquirer. I'm not in that picture. I wish people would read the whole thing in that. It says on the bottom, Steve Pierce ain't in the picture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
People, yeah, yeah. They say, "Oh yeah, you're in that picture. You took the money too." I didn't take the money. I've never took any money.
Yeah. And you know what, people, and you know what, Steve, I do want to bring that up because I've been in documentaries. People think you get rich from this. They don't even pay you for documentaries. Like people don't realize that. They think people do this and they're on documentaries and they're doing this to get rich. You're not going to get rich. You know what I mean? From a documentary. You're not.
But the person who's making it is going to make some money off of it.
Yeah, the documentary maker, exactly. But the people in it don't make money.
You
And
know,
people think you're like a lot of people think that oh, this person's doing this to get rich. You're not going to get rich. You're not. You know,
I've
it's
probably
just
made $3,000 since 2011.
yep, yep.
Wow.
Steve, I think you have. I think Steve could be a content creator. I think you could make a living right here on Facebook, TikTok, and everything. I really do. I see your videos, brother. I think you can do it.
You think
Uh,
so?
I think so. What do you think, Pete?
oh yeah, definitely. You've got so many stories to tell. And next time you're on the podcast, I want to hear some of these scary stories too. I want to hear some of the graveyard stories.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
definitely have you on again, man.
huh?
I said, we definitely have you on again. Any paranormal incident, we're going to invite you back for sure.
Yeah, I can tell you some ghost stories.
All
Hey,
right. You know what?
I've seen a dark spirit come through a dark cloud come through a wall over us and through another wall and went out the other side.
I never seen anything and I want to so bad. Uh, maybe it's because I believe so much they don't show me. I don't know. I don't see anything. I did see an orb. I'm
I don't
lying.
know
I seen
if
an orb.
if you hang around with me long enough, you eventually see things.
All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna hang with you. Me and Pete, we're gonna drive down and we're gonna pick you up. We're gonna take you for lunch or something.
Well, I don't care.
All right, yeah, we'll definitely come to LA. It's only a 4 hour drive for me and Pete. We'll come there. We'll take you to lunch. We'll spend a day in Cali. Maybe we'll even fly there, Pete. It's like $75. Probably cheaper to fly.
Hey, I'm
The
ready.
thing was just, yeah. So listen, Steve, thanks for coming on. We'll bring you on again. We appreciate it. Please stay on
There's
because
a
once
lot
we
more. Just go another hour. I just started.
listen, I wish we could. I wish we could. My phone is almost ready to die. But yeah, we'll have you on again. Thank you so much. But stay on Pete. I mean, stay on Steve and Pete. We'll talk when we go off air here. Thank you,
All right.
everybody. We'll be here again
Hey,
next week.
thank you for
Thanks,
having
Steve.
me.
Oh, we're gonna have you again, Pete. Thanks. See everybody next week.